Hey guys, it's Mike here from the Board Game BBQ podcast. I was sitting back and thinking that, yesterday we had Are You OK Day, which is a very important day. If you don't know what it is, I suggest you look into it. Just if you think somebody's struggling, or even if not, reach out and ask somebody if they're okay. That's the first thing. But it got me to thinking about something I often think about regarding this hobby. I used to suffer from a lot of depression and anxiety, and it affected my life quite a bit. Had a lot of major things happen in my life, and it was something that sort of creeped around and always followed me. The board gaming hobby for me saved me from depression. And look, it still likes to creep around once in a while and sneak in, as it does for most people. But I just want to talk about quickly the things this hobby does for people with depression or anxiety. If you aren't into board games, why you might want to check it out. If you've enjoyed board games previously, why it might be something you want to get back into. I think it's... The first thing for me is I played a few board games with someone once and knew I was interested. I knew it was something that got my attention, but for a long time I sort of avoided chasing that sort of interest. It's scary to go into a group of new people where you don't know the hobby. You're intimidated because you sort of don't know what to expect, and that they're all going to be steps in front of you and know a lot more than you do. But when I finally took that step to look for a local board game group and approach and just try something different, it was scary. It's something that takes a lot of guts to do. But as soon as you can take that step, for those of you who haven't done it yet, the board game community is by far one of the best communities I've ever been a part of. Most of the people are just so welcoming, and even more than that, they're excited to see somebody new in the hobby. Me being in it now, if I see somebody who hasn't shown any interest or has never played a board game, I cannot wait to pick their brains and try to figure out what they're going to enjoy and see how I can make them fall in love with the hobby as much as I have. The board game is always so happy to share and happy to teach and are patient, and that's what I found. And when you go back to why board games, well, for me, one of the things with anxiety and depression are just the never-ending loop of thoughts, things going around in your head, and it's a hard cycle to try to break. Whereas with board games, they interrupt those thoughts. You're too focused on strategies or what's happening at the table and, reading numbers or reading cards. It really, really helps to ground you, or it does for me. It's just sort of is a good activity that takes away from all those thoughts and just occupies your mind with something different. Something else that I definitely suffered with during my big bouts of depression is not wanting to be around people. I'd rather do other things than sit at home and be bored and isolated. I myself am generally an extrovert, and it surprised a lot of people when I was starting to invert myself and they didn't quite understand. I find it hard as an adult to meet new people and to get together with people. I find it hard to say, hey, do you just want to come over? I find this hobby now has given me a reason to say, hey, do you want to come play a game? And that has made me catch up with more people and hang out socially with more people. And that's something that I think is really important as well. On that, it's helped me meet so many new people. Because if you go to a game day, your regular game group, and when new people stop by, this hobby, there's so many people that I would never have met before, or different kinds of people I would never have met. And it's an absolutely beautiful thing that this gets people from all walks in life, different kinds of employment backgrounds. Everyone is generally just so inclusive, and it just brings everyone together and gives everyone that common goal of something to do all together. So look, I'm not going to go too long about this. I just want to do something short and sweet and just say thank you to the board gaming hobby. Thank you for everyone that's ever offered me a seat at the table. Thank you to anybody who's ever offered to teach me a game. Thank you to the board game group that are started me with this. Thank you to them for making me feel welcome as soon as I got there, not letting me just stand around and twiddle my thumbs and figure out what to do. They offered me a seat. They asked me if I'd like to join in, and they were really, really welcoming, and that really means a lot. I'd also like to encourage everybody else to do the same. If you happen to be at some sort of board game day and you're playing like a 4-player game and you only have 3 people about to play, and you see somebody standing around waiting, stand up and offer them to join in your game. It's really important that we try to bring those people in and show them that it's a safe space. That slight outreach of your hand can change somebody's life. It did for me. So I just want to say thank you again to the board game hobby. Thank you to all the new friends I made through it. Remember to ask people if they're okay. And yeah, thank you so much. Hope your next game is a sizzling one. Thank you for listening.